All right. Hello there, and welcome to the Rogue Podcast, a Star Wars show. I'm extremely excited for today's episode. As you can see, we got myself, the Lego CPA, and are you calling yourself the Last Centurion, Jim, or can I call you Jim?
You can call me Jim. That is my name.
Jim, do you want to tilt your camera down a little bit?
Absolutely.
Floating head.
Yes. There we go.
There we go.
Better. CJ and David should be joining us also shortly, so we'll get into the show. So AHSOKA episode 3 just released. It's called Time to Fly. If you've seen the episode, which if you haven't, you should probably go watch it before you do this. But if you've seen the episode, you probably know why it was called Time to Fly, as a vast majority, or at least a lot of the show was during space combat, which is really interesting. Actually, the entire show, except for the very end, was
it was pretty much all space.
Yeah, it was all in space. Before we get started, make sure that if you are watching this video and you like it, hit the like button for us, please. And then if you're not subscribing, click subscribe. We'll come out with a video every week. But yeah, like the whole entire show in space. So Time to Fly makes sense. What do you guys think? First thoughts?
Just, it was an intermediary episode that's going to transition us from one to the other. So I kind of just took it like that. Like this is all part of the arc. And this one was just the short end of the stick. So that was my kind of view of it.
Yeah, it was definitely building toward the larger story for sure.
Yes, but there was definitely some nuggets in there that definitely made me smile. Not to get it too far ahead, but yeah, there was definitely, even though it was short and kind of a filler, there were some things in there that really made me smile.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was short. I don't know if I would go so far to call it filler, like some of the Mandalorian episodes that we've gotten in the past.
Fair.
It definitely
we're
was
going somewhere. We're clearly going
focused
somewhere.
on the plot.
Yeah,
we're going to the Janab system. That's actually where we're going.
Yeah. And I guess I kind of appreciate that perspective that it wasn't more drawn out than it needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
We could have had a little fetch quest halfway in this episode.
Agreed.
But I'm glad like we're all kind of agreeing we're still going somewhere.
The characters learned. Go ahead.
Granted, I didn't really do my homework on the length of the episode, so it did kind of catch me by surprise.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, it gave us some information about how the New Republic falls pretty clearly, just ignoring the possibility of new empire uprising. We see Sabine training, which I thought was pretty interesting, as well as we get to see Jason Hera.
That's what I was thinking, though.
Zendula, Jason Zendula.
Zendula.
Or you could say Jason Dune. I wonder, Dune Zendula?
Dune Dula?
Are we gonna get a Jason Chopper spinoff show?
Probably. It'll be on Disney XD.
I will say though, with his
several layers,
which he looked more like an Oompa Loompa at the end of Rebels, but if his skin was any more orange, he'd be a little Oompa Loompa.
Yeah, it's interesting that he has like the green hair, because I wouldn't think about when you're having a half breed. I don't know.
Jeez.
You have your Twi'lek and you have your human. It's half and half. But like I would have thought that the color of someone's skin would translate to the color of their hair. But I guess it's Star Wars. So.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some Twi'lek with like never.
I would have just liked to have his head. His head is one half is a Leku, and the other one is just hair. I
don't know.
The most bullied kid in the galaxy.
That would have been great. I would have loved it. But yeah, I mean, I thought overall it was good. It was not, like we said, nothing amazing, but good enough to keep the story going forward and keep our interest. I don't think that we were shocked about the hyperspace ring's purpose. It is more so for the characters and what they were learning, and rather than what we were learning. But I did think it was really cool how, as we get into the episode, we see that they are following a Purgil hyperspace lane. I thought that was a really cool part of the screen of the episode, because I mean this really is Rebels season 5, and the large connections to Rebels and the story of what happened with Ezra, I find to be really interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I couldn't really have hoped for more as far as where the story's going. Personally.
There we go. Sorry, my screen was playing audio on my other monitor. It was driving me crazy. Yeah, I think this is heading in a really interesting direction. CJ, what are your thoughts on the episode?
I liked it. I appreciate that it feels more focused than The Mandalorian and the Boba Fett show and Obi-Wan. Like I don't feel like the events kind of follow just like this random things keep happening to him, I guess, which kind of what we said earlier. But I enjoyed it, and then the Sabine Ahsoka dynamic is interesting. I feel like it's interesting how different she is as a master, seemingly, than Anakin was.
Agreed.
At least through the little bit that we've seen so far. She seems more like Obi-Wan, kind of, but...
Yeah, I'm about to say that. I feel that she really learned quite a bit from Anakin and Obi-Wan, and specifically from Anakin, the things he did well as the things he did poorly. You know what I mean? We kind of take that from our parents. At least I hope we do. Like, our parents are doing the best that they can. They do things well and some things they do poorly. And then we as parents should try to learn from that. You know what I mean? As we go in to be kids or parents someday. So hopefully, we say, okay, my parents did this really well. I should replicate that. They did not do this well. I should try to avoid that. You know what I mean? And I feel that Ahsoka kind of took the best of Anakin and also learned from the things that he did wrong. So,
but she's also kind of a jerk.
I don't know. Why do you say that?
Which in watching her, I was like, oh, I guess that's
she
kind
definitely
of how
wasn't
I am.
This episode. I felt
that's kind of how I am as a manager at work. I push, and then when they finally do something well, I don't even really acknowledge it or just don't even encourage or whatever.
And what's the reasoning behind that?
I just don't think about it.
Are you saying that Ahsoka is doing the same thing, or
correct? Yeah,
Ahsoka
she's
quick.
She was
to
like
let her know.
pushing, and then when she finally did or showed some semblance with the mask on of like seeing it, she immediately was just like, or she did something right, and then Ahsoka, I remember she just kind of walked away and didn't really acknowledge.
Congratulations for doing exactly what you're supposed to.
Pretty much. I mean, because at this point,
she told her she did well.
Like Sabine did anything right. I thought she just kind of was floating through it.
It might have been obvious, but did you guys notice how Sabine reoriented herself when she was during the last few seconds of the training?
You mean
in which way?
As in she oriented herself based on where Ahsoka was?
No, like Hugh Yang moved his shoulder, and she hears him move a mechanical piece and reorients herself completely in the room. Like okay, I know where I'm at now. Because Hugh Yang was over there. I just heard she takes a second where she looks back and she's like, all right, I know where I'm at. And she uses that instead of the Force to try and lean on when she should be trying to tap into the Force.
Yeah, I think it was really interesting what Ahsoka talked about with Hugh Yang is that it's very rare that a Mandalorian is a Jedi because they rely so much on themselves. They rely so much on their training and their physical ability that it's going to be difficult for them to open up to the world around them and to touch the Force. And actually, I saw something on Instagram or TikTok or something today, and it was just a scene from Rebels when what's her name? Sabine was training with the Darksaber with Ezra, and Kanan had them training with sticks. And Hera says to Kanan, she's like, "Why are you having her train with sticks? Is it because you don't think she can do it?" He's like, "No, I believe in her. I think she can do it." He's like, "Is it because she doesn't have the Force? You didn't do this with Ezra." He's like, "No, she has the Force. All living things have the Force within them, but she's closed off to it, and she won't let the Force guide her." And I thought that this episode did a really good job of kind of saying, look, we do expect that a Jedi is going to have that given talent to fall on, but any person can commune with the Force, any living thing. I mean, we see it all over Star Wars. It's not something that we see as Jedi because Jedi have done it a certain way. Like Hugh Yang said, she would not have been accepted in the Jedi Order, but she can be a Jedi and still commune with the Force and act as a Jedi. She has combat skills. She might not be able to, force push someone 60 feet across the 60 feet across the sorry, I'm doing the floor or across the room, but she's able to still act as a Jedi and be caring and selfless and so on. So I thought that was done really well today.
I did think it was interesting that Huyang said, or no, Ahsoka said to Huyang, "I don't need her to be a Jedi," which I don't know if that was just her snapping back at him being snarky, or maybe her ultimate goal isn't to make her force wielding. How did you guys take that?
I don't think so. I think she wants her to wield the Force. Specifically, she's talking to her about starting small and showing her, you start small. It takes time to connect with the Force.
Yeah. So, like, what do you think was going on? Like you said, that she kind of got a little snarky with Huyang. Like, what do you think was going on a little before that when she was like, "He said that to you," and basically,
oh yeah,
like, what was it? What was it he said that
he said that
that she's not
she's
not
talent of
as
any
good as a
Padawan he's
Padawan.
ever seen.
Yeah, exactly. She was like, "He said that to you."
So I don't know. I felt that they did a good job of that, and I lost my train of thought. What was it? The question you'd asked?
I was like, what do you think is going on? Like, why she was being like snarky with Huyang, like making sure he wasn't undermining anything that was going on in Sabine's mind.
I don't know that it was more so being snarky. I think it was more so Huyang is very much in the Jedi of the Republic. You know what I mean?
Right.
And,
and he's programmed. Yeah,
exactly.
He has all right, if they're to this level, then they can go into the Jedi. If they're not,
right.
It's just it's black and white. It's for Huyang.
Ahsoka herself is still not a Jedi. She would still claim that to this day. So
That's
her
true.
training,
as defined by the Jedi of the Republic era.
Her training Sabine does not mean that she's training her to be a Jedi. She's training her to follow her in her footsteps and in her ways. The Jedi failed. And I think that it's important to see that Ahsoka is not necessarily training her to follow the failed order that happened. I mean, we don't want her to be exactly like the Jedi of the Republic. So I think that she's going to train her to follow herself, not to follow.
So at what point, though, do we differentiate from, because of course there's different sectors of Jedi. So at what point do we differentiate from the High Republic, which goes right up, for the purpose of this thought, goes up until Revenge of the Sith, that Jedi, the Jedi Order, from the Jedi in the Empire versus Luke's Jedi Order? So of course, for Ahsoka's view, all she really knows is, assumedly, all she really knows is the old Jedi Order. So of course, yeah, she wouldn't call her that. I think I would call her a true Jedi.
Right. I think she's
by holding to the Force.
I think it's interesting that her and Luke both found the true Jedi path kind of independently of each other in the same era, really. But if you're trying to understand what you're asking what's the differentiation between?
I guess I'm just asking how, because Jake just said Ahsoka isn't a Jedi, whereas it's all semantics, honestly.
As defined by the Republic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't say it's defined by the Republic. I would say it's more so defined by the Jedi Order of her time.
The dogmatic views of the Jedi.
And I was just going to say that dogmatic. I mean, Palpatine was somewhat corrected at this point in time. The Jedi were rather dogmatic and narrow-minded. We're not open to more so the Force. They're more so following their own ways and tradition. Right. And I think that Ahsoka in her time currently isn't a Jedi, and Luke, when he starts his new Jedi Order, I think it's difficult because of how they did it in sequels. We don't really know what it looked like, but I wonder if he was following the same path that Jedi Order had, or if he was starting to kind of look into, do we have to follow these exact rules? It's kind of like religion, right? You have the Force or the deity that is being worshipped. Okay.
Right.
You can worship that deity, but then it's the different, what's the word I'm looking for? Different types of religion. Denomination, right? You can worship that deity by having different things that you follow and beliefs and so on and so forth,
Mhm.
right? Now,
Right.
you can argue only one of those can be correct in all counts, right? But you can
Right.
also argue that all these different religions and denominations, etc., are going to have certain things wrong. And I think the Jedi is one of the groups of people that adhere to the will of the Force and so on and so forth, but they do it in a way that follows their own personal belief system about the Force. So if that
So-
belief system over time gets to a point where it's corrupted, Ahsoka says, I'm not going
Right.
to be a Jedi because the way that you're following the Force is incorrect, nor am I going to train my apprentice to follow the same exact rules and regulations that you had. Now, if the Jedi
Right.
Order reforms and gets things right,
Right.
maybe she then would fall into that category of being a Jedi again.
So do you think that, so on like a linear scale, let's say you've got Qui-Gon
Mhm.
and how he viewed things, and you've got Luke and you've got Ahsoka, like how lined up would you say those three were?
I would say Ahsoka and Qui-Gon are very lined up. And I think that Luke got to that point in Return of the Jedi as well.
And then completely walked away from it.
Exactly. And it's very difficult
Shame.
to kind of say where he was in the next 20 years as we lead to the sequel because we haven't covered
Right.
that time period a lot.
Fair. That's
Yeah.
very fair.
Yeah.
So
But-
then it would be like Qui-Gon, Ahsoka, and Sabine will most likely be along the same linear path as
Yeah.
what
and-
they would call true Jedi.
Yeah, that's what like it'd be like your fundamental Baptists. Hold
No.
hold into the roots.
Name drop.
Well,
So do
okay.
you think Obi-Wan isn't along that path?
I think Obi-Wan was, and I think he gets there in Rebels, and I think
Especially by the end.
yeah, he
And
gets
he
there
was-
in Rebels and in Episode 4, so on. But in
Yeah.
Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, I think that he would have been there if he was with Qui-Gon a little bit more.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
he was following the Jedi Order more than he followed the Force, I would say.
I don't think he's that far off, honestly, there. I don't know how big
Yeah,
a part
but
he
I
had to
think-
play in that.
It
Like-
took him going into like isolation to like really get there. And did-
Yeah, I would agree. And even honestly, I don't think he, based on what we've seen, I don't think he makes it there until we see him in Rebels. Personally,
right.
I would imagine he gets there between. Well, obviously, he gets there somewhere between that moment and Kenobi's show, maybe closer to
Right.
the Kenobi show. He gets.
You wouldn't
there.
say after the Kenobi show, like after he has his moment of
yep.
like
Yes.
coming
after
back
the
to the
Kenobi
Force.
show.
Yeah.
So the Kenobi show is 10 years after. Rebels is what, like 17 years after. So there's a 7-year time gap, give or take,
Mhm.
2
Yeah.
years. So I would say somewhere in the first year or two, because of course we know he spends more time with Qui-Gon, which is awesome.
Mhm. Yeah.
It would be cool to see that. It would also be cool just to, as fans, us to be able to fill in the gaps. But I think, somewhere in there, I think he gets more clarity and kind of understands what a true Jedi is.
Yeah, I would say the fact that he is able to talk to Qui-Gon shows that he's on the same linear path as understanding the Force as him.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we were expecting with that show and hoping for. So,
You know.
give us like one episode and I'll leave you alone.
So then was Yoda not a part of it? I don't know.
I think Yoda was one of the.
Yoda seems like
I think
he would
was
have,
one
but-
of the main contributors to the fall of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Was he?
I mean, he was the head of it, so it's hard to.
So does he change then when he trains Luke?
I think that him and Obi-Wan both gained a lot of wisdom once they realized what had happened to the Jedi, and the political side of the Jedi Order, the military side of the Jedi Order. Like that's not what the Jedi Order was supposed to be. They became political pawns rather than followers of the Force, and I think the whole Jedi Council was responsible for that. And Yoda, especially Yoda, who had been around for 870 years.
It's
Yeah.
just like so many coincidences just like keep happening. And you look to your left and you look to your right and you're like, I'm not the only one that sees this, right? Like, I guess I am. Carry on. Yeah, I'll be a general. That's fine.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean it's a
don't know,
slippery slope, and
I feel like that's true, but I'll try to think of specific examples of how both of them change like significantly from like the Clone Wars show to the later stuff, and I don't know. They don't seem like that different, honestly. Is all I can think of. Like maybe a little bit, maybe they got some stuff wrong, but like them as people don't seem fundamentally changed.
I think that Obi-Wan was pretty self-aware of the issues of the Jedi Order. I think Anakin really helped him see a lot of that stuff, especially in the Clone Wars we see it. But Obi-Wan was just kind of compliant in a lot of these things, I feel like. You know what I mean? Where like
so is Yoda, honestly.
Yeah, he really followed the will of the Force.
Yeah, he was real. Yeah, he was really loyal to the hierarchy of rank structure, I guess.
Jake,
Someone else talk. No, go ahead. I'm doing a fantasy football draft.
Who you gonna take? Sorry, guys.
You got anything else?
Some people are just unforgivable.
I think it was just, I mean,
No,
a product
that
of the
was just
times,
my thoughts on that
unfortunately,
whole.
just they were kind of. I think a good way of describing it might be, and this might be a really good example. You put a frog in. I'm sure you've all heard this example. You don't cook a frog by dumping it in hot water. You slowly heat up the water, and over time it just gets comfortable. And I think that's what happened with Yoda and Obi-Wan. Great people, great Jedi, but over time, just the waters kept slowly getting hotter, and then eventually, at Order 66, the pan just blew up.
I'm
you
sorry,
really didn't
guys.
like the episode that much?
Well, they also
Jake drafted Jonathan Taylor, guy that's hurt.
Jake just got sniped. It's all right though. It's
all part of the plan.
I think the other thing too with both of them, Qui-Gon's kind of unique because he's very independent. I feel like more so than maybe anybody else besides Anakin.
Yeah.
But the other Yoda and Obi-Wan, they were kind of brought up in it. So it wasn't even like a boil over time for them. That's just how they were raised. And I think like maybe they didn't change. I don't know that they found like the true path or whatever after Order 66. But they did have to like look through and evaluate how they were doing things. And I think it was just more of like a reevaluation of what they were taught rather than a like finding themselves kind of thing and them as people changing.
And going off that, something I've always wondered.
And so
something I've always wondered, do you think they were wrong? Do you think they were wrong in the whole like attachment is 100% no? Because don't you think we would have been like better off if he would have just like talked to somebody and said, "Hey, like this is going on. What do I do?"
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's
we
would all agree that's evident in our upbringings. Like if you try to keep everything inside your mind and not talk to anyone, it always ends badly. And
the pendulum always swings hard the other direction.
Just like that movie.
Just that
so I think I disagree a little bit, only because you look at like what Anakin did. A lot of what Anakin did was fueled by attachment, and so I don't think it's not that they were necessarily wrong about attachment. I don't think they thought attachment was wrong. I think they thought attachment was dangerous, and so instead of trying to work with attachment, they decided to cut it out of the order, because really there was a lot of people who have a lot of power over other people just by nature of their use of the Force, who if they had like strong attachment could be manipulated into using that poorly, like Anakin did. So I don't like, it's a good thing, but it's really, really tricky because it's a really powerful weapon for people who can't control themselves.
Agreed. And it's always easier, and I can see this growing up with my parents. I could see doing this myself as a future parent. It's always easier when your kids ask you for something, or when I would ask my parent for something. It's always easy just to say no. Be like, hey, can I go hang out with friends? No. Can I have this? No, because you don't have to take it further than that. It's always easier to say no as opposed to say yes, but here are these guidelines that I think are important to consider with what you are asking for.
Yeah, it eliminates
And
the uncertainty, so then you don't have anything to worry about. But
exactly.
then you eliminate the growth as well.
Yep, exactly. So when limiting that with attachments, yeah, it was so much easier for Obi-Wan to say, "Your thoughts dwell on your mother," and he said, "Yep." He's like, "Well, the dreams pass in time. Basically, like, don't worry about it. It's fine." Instead of, "Oh, well, why are you feeling that way?" "Oh, I'm having visions that my mother's not." Okay, well, let's unpack that kind of thing. Let's sit down on this nice
What do you
little
see?
couch here.
Let's go rescue her.
It's easier, but it's always easier just to say no, like forget about it.
Yeah. Yeah, imagine like they go and rescue her like before she dies. Credits roll.
Pretty much.
There's a lot of points where you can be like, okay, if they just did this differently, Anakin probably would have turned out real good. Or if they just did this differently, Anakin would have turned out real good.
But the will of the Force is an amazing thing.
You're right.
Some things which I think someone said, whether maybe it was Lucas, has said Vader or Anakin turning into Vader is a fixed point, and the Sidious doing his thing is a fixed point. So maybe no matter what, it just would have gotten there a different way.
Yeah, the whole like time travel thing.
Yeah, I don't think anything would have stopped Anakin necessarily, because ultimately, like, even though all those things happen, Anakin makes his own decisions. Like
he does, and
so
he's culpable for them.
And he's just kind of he seems dissatisfied with structure anyways. So I don't know. I don't think you can like stop him from making his own choice.
It's an interesting thought, because I wonder if it wasn't for the fear of losing Padme, his mom, what would have been the driving force for his turn. Interesting thought.
Yeah. Fear leads to anger.
Like if the Jedi had a lot of attachment, do you think he still would have done that stuff because he was still afraid of losing Padme? Like would that have kept him from being afraid?
Yeah, if he like Yoda said. I mean, I agree with what Yoda said. He's like train yourself to let go of everything you fear to lose. In my mind, I don't take that as push everyone away.
Yeah.
I take that as, which maybe that's how Anakin took it. And he's like, wow, you're literally just telling me to push everyone away. But I take that as don't hold on to everything so tightly in your own strength that when it is time for that to let go, you break your hands because they're going to get pulled away no matter what.
Yeah.
So many metaphors tonight.
You just can't be just like preparing for the worst 24/7 and like letting it just consume your entire life.
Agreed. Man,
so the consensus is that Sabine would be on the true Jedi path.
He has a lot of emotion.
Yeah, I mean, you got to train those things out, and I think that she can be. It'll just depend on how her training goes and the trials that she has to overcome within herself. So I'm excited to see how it goes. I think that as long as it doesn't detract from the character of Ahsoka too much, that's the only thing I do worry about a little bit, because I am prioritizing that story. Yeah. And I don't want this to become the Sabine show. I mean, we had Reva detracting from the Kenobi show. We had Bo-Katan detracting from Din Djarin.
There's a lot of characters in Andor.
Oh, that's fine. That type of story is totally different. I mean, there was a lot of characters in Game of Thrones, and
but it wasn't called the Targaryen crew.
Like House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
It has all kinds of characters.
You don't have to make excuses for Andor. I get it.
I'm just saying, there's shows that are very good shows that are that don't just focus on one person. I'm not saying that I want Ahsoka to just.
But when it's the titular character,
yeah, but
that's when it rubs me the wrong.
I just want
name
her
a different show.
I just want her to be the primary story point. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Which I think with this episode,
will
it's kind of back on track.
Yeah, I thought this episode was really cool. How did you guys feel about her spacesuit she went out in?
I did not see that coming.
It looked like Harris. It reminded me of Hera's in Rebels when she's the really like goofy looking one.
Yeah.
Looks like a
My
I
lot.
first-
expected her to just wear like something.
I don't know.
over
I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
Like, forgive me. Didn't she wear a suit at some point in the Clone Wars?
I want to say
Like,
it
what
was
couldn't they-
yellow. My gut tells me it was yellow. I'm looking it
I
up.
might be thinking
I'm
of
sure she
That was
did.
the
when her-
underwater suit.
No, that was when she was with Plo Koon, right? Like an Anakin, and they were
No,
in space, and like their ship got like destroyed, and they got stuck.
Yeah, it's basically just the helmet. I
stuck
think
somewhere?
is all it
Let's
is.
see. Thank you.
It's not a.
Not a full suit.
It's not a full bodysuit. It's literally just the helmet, and her whole headgear
Nice.
fits inside of it.
Nice headgear.
Yeah, my thought was immediately I was like, I feel like that would have taken a little bit to put on,
Yeah.
and the time that she had to
It's
get
like
on
yeah,
the ship.
right.
Batman going down his fireman pole.
You're right. It probably just goes on her, but
One thing real quick that distracted me in the opening sequence was the fact that, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe she just looks really buff from the wide shots. To me, it very clearly was switching between the Sabine actress and the body double, because the body
I didn't
double's
notice.
arms are just like
in there.
Jacked. Yeah.
Did you notice that, Jake?
I didn't notice.
Here,
Hilarious.
let me share the screen. Okay.
I didn't, but I did notice that like when Sabine was training and it was the actress, I was like, man, this girl does not look like she fights like at all.
So look at those arms. Remember
Oh
those
yeah,
arms.
because I
No, I got to find the right frame.
She's gonna be like,
I noticed like regular Sabine's arms. I was like, oh man,
well, they're gonna be really
Yeah.
skinny.
Look at those skinny arms.
maybe it's just the angle.
Yeah,
I just thought that was funny.
the old
It's like, man.
toothpicks.
I enjoyed this scene.
And like, look at
Yeah, I
both
liked
those
it too.
arms.
I thought it was good.
I thought it was.
Yeah, I
really
liked
good.
it.
And I was glad it wasn't just like a
It was good.
droid, a training droid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the old remote, the same
Yeah,
exact
the
thing
remote.
over and over and over again.
Yeah, it was this. It was the same concept, but it's done a different way, and I enjoyed that. That's cool.
And I like how these opening sequences are more than just. It's more than just a setup for the episode. It's kind of it's more of a less of a setup point, more of a launching point. Whereas in Mando, we get like 2 minutes, and it was just kind of like a little, oh man, how you feeling, guys? But here it's more of a, let's bring these characters together in kind of a cohesive way, give it like 5 minutes of screen time, and then launch them off from here. Because the whole episode really stems from her not being trainable and Ahsoka trying to train her, and then that just kind of developing through the whole episode.
Yeah, it does make a difference when it's not just like a CSI Miami intro that's just feels like it's shot by a completely different team, and it's actually really like interesting and good. And then the show comes on, and I'm like, wow, like where'd all the budget go? Oh, it must have been the intro.
So we can move sequentially through the episode. We start out after the intro with Hera on that big fleet ship, I believe, unless you guys think that was the Ghost.
Nah,
No,
It was a
she's
big
on
fleet
she's
ship.
she's
on
definitely she's a general. She's not going to be on a freighter anymore.
Yeah, I definitely got the impression that was a fleet ship she was on.
Oh yeah, and she walks into that big room with the
Yeah.
hologram and stuff.
She's got Mon Calamari on there. She's definitely on a Mon Calamari vehicle.
Okay. And we've
Comes with the space.
apparently, which did you all know that Mon Mothma was the Chancellor?
No, I
that
did not.
happens. That happens in like EU, and
I
then
figured,
like Leia
yeah.
becomes it too.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard it from there
So
somewhere.
I wasn't
I
surprised.
mean, it makes
at all.
sense.
Especially if they're following Heir to the Empire. Like if they actually are trying to give us some like Sam's Club version of Heir to the Empire, it makes sense to
Which version?
lead us there.
Sam's Club.
Yeah.
What do you got against Sam's Club?
Nothing.
It's not. It's no.
I
It's
like
just not the
I
name
like
brand.
bulk. I like getting things in bulk.
Do you guys have
Getting things
Costco?
in bulk with slightly cheaper packaging. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, just like Disney Plus, right? Right.
Dude, I'm a big
Right?
fan of Bet Indent, where you go there and the packaging's already broken and stuff, but the food
Like,
on the inside's
ooh.
just as good. You get, like,
25
half
cents
bites.
less.
Big fan.
So we've got a whole panel, and one dude seems super shifty. The like Xanataurus or whatever his name was.
Dude, that dude is definitely an Imperial loyalist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't
Really?
even
You
try
really
to hide
think so?
it.
I think we
sometimes,
should
dude.
On the
debate
bad,
that for
on the
about 10
on the
minutes.
worst end, he's a
I hope
straight up
not.
loyalist. Yeah, on like the
They don't
not so
hide it,
worst
dude.
end. Yeah.
Don't hide it.
Yeah, I mean, Hera hints at it. It's kind of heavy-handed, and generally, like Rachel and I are watching a murder show. Only Murders in the Building on Hulu. We love it, but they're always dropping clues and hints about 9 different people about who the murderer may be. And you're often like, oh, it's too heavy-handed. It's clearly not that person. Or they're trying to make it look like it's not heavy-handed, but it definitely is, you know? But with the way Star Wars shows have been, I don't ever really feel like if they're heavy-handed, like laying something down, that's probably what's going to happen. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's just like the episode with the Law and Order guy.
Yeah.
Or for the Empire. I was like, I knew
Oh,
this
yeah.
was gonna happen like 30
Yeah.
minutes ago. We already had one of these in Mando. Like,
Yeah. Essentially the same thing. It's like yeah.
go to the space station. What do you know? Double agents.
They're not really like misdirecting anything. So, but I'm okay with it. It's still good.
Yeah.
I'm looking through the credits right now to see if I can
Did
find
you notice anything?
So they say
interesting
Imperial
about the
agent
credits
for his
last. Did you notice anything interesting about credits last?
Sam Witwer.
Sam Witwer was the voice actor.
It means nothing.
Come on,
dude.
Galen
'Cause
Merrick.
Guess,
Come on,
guess
Galen
who's
Merrick.
not? Guess who's not
Okay.
a voice actor in this one?
Okay. Let's
And
just
guess who
say
spoke in this episode.
So he's
Let's
not
add-
he's not credited as a voice actor, and he spoke.
Not
this
that-
episode.
we're to the VFX pulls and color and finish credits, so I think we're past the actor credits.
Oh, the people that don't matter. Keep going.
Dude, without VFX, what would Star Wars even be?
I don't know,
Episodes,
another
episode
writer's
4.
strike.
But they did. There was an Unreal Engine support by Epic Games, which is interesting.
That had to have been
People
a
make
space.
Fortnite.
Yeah, I mean space.
Fortnite
Space battles
skins.
were definitely part of that. How'd you like those? How'd you like those? Fighters that
oh,
been.
I have
The
something to say
The
about
N1 like clones.
these were this might have just been me, but I could swear that those were directly modeled off of Corsairs.
Oh, I was just about to say that. Yeah, World War II
Yeah.
Corsair, 100%.
Yeah. Like I noticed that
I
right
thought
away.
maybe they looked a little bit like
Yeah.
Japanese Zeros, though.
Sure. Yeah, I can see them taking it from all of that, but they were definitely. It was supposed to be
Especially
like
from the front.
dogfight.
From
Yeah.
the front,
yeah.
it looked just like.
Oh,
Now-
Which is an
yeah.
homage to Episode 4 when George Lucas looked at World War II footage to inspire
Mhm.
the trench
Stormtroopers.
attack scenes.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
especially when Sabine is like when the hyperspace ring is firing at them and it's like flak going off in
Mhm.
space.
Which I thought the ships were a little too on the nose for me. I was kind of pulled out because they did look too close to those World War II fighters.
I mean, the way the wings were in the back, though, and everything. Now, the only thing I didn't like about them was just the sound of their blasters. It was very unique. It was
That's what I
very
liked
unique.
the most. That's
Really?
what I did like.
I don't know if I disliked it. It was just, I don't know if they just sounded really weak. You know what I mean? And
I mean, they are. They're
they didn't have
little.
any impact to them.
Laser cannons, bro.
That's what. Yeah, they're light.
And maybe
cannons.
that's
They're
what
not-
the intention
they-
was, because they didn't break through
Yeah.
the shield of a larger ship. So maybe they're just intended for ships of their like, but it doesn't. It didn't inspire much. Sort of
Fear.
like fear. Yeah, exactly. Okay, I
Yeah.
have to take a pick.
I mean, it's like
But, yeah.
starfighters firing on like the Enterprise. Like they're gonna be shooting a while.
Yeah. Shields will always be at 20%.
Shields holding. Put them to the back. Let's turn around and fly back and fly forwards. It'll work, guys.
Yikes.
But yeah,
And then-
the space dogfight scene, that was pretty. I liked it.
I like the fact that her ship could fly at like 2 axes at the
Oh,
same
yeah, that
or
was cool.
spin.
Mhm.
Fly, I guess, because you're flying and you're spinning.
I will say, I think it's
Yeah,
lame that
it's-
there are no
it's a really
blasters
good
in the
trick,
front of the
though.
ship, though. Spinning's a good trick. Let's talk about on the nose.
Isn't it a
Shane.
neat trick? Does he say
No, let's try
neat?
spinning. That's a good trick.
Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
Neat,
a
neat
good
is
trick.
not a Star Wars word. I
No.
said it here.
What was the
Half
thing I
is,
was going to bring up about that? Oh yeah, why does that gun not have any blasters on the nose? That ship, Ahsoka's Jedi transport.
I don't know. I know
I
the
know
Lego
it's not
set
an
does.
attack
Transport.
shuttle or anything like that.
I mean, the
not-
Lego ship
Lego
has
set
2
does.
stud shooters
It does.
on the front, so
On the
it
wings.
really
Not
should
accurate.
have.
Not accurate.
They
The
may have
stud
just
shooters are
been
just lights.
They may have just been reaching. Someone at Lego gets
Um,
fired tonight.
I
What
know.
else?
Let's step in, guys.
I mean, there's plenty to talk about. We've got the whole scene when, and that's when Jason shows up at the end with Chopper. We talked about him already.
Dude, me and my buddy were sitting watching it. We're like looking at each other, and he's like, "So you mean to tell me when they like got together, the only thing different with this kid is he has green hair?" I was like, now that you say that, that sounds dumb.
Okay, but he did look really unique
Mutated.
in Rebels. Like, he didn't look 100%.
He didn't look too hot. Didn't look like he was gonna be
He
having
didn't-
kids.
There's a reason we don't see a lot of half Twi'lek, half humans.
The art department for the show is like drawing SketchUp. It's like, man, we just cannot make this look good.
This poor kid is gonna be ugly.
These kids look like Alabama kids. I don't know what we're doing.
They just went with human, full on human.
What was I gonna say? Oh, how'd you feel about that conversation with Hera, where he was asking about
Being a
what
Jedi.
exactly did he say? Did he say Chopper
I want to
said
be.
that
Sabine's gonna be a Jedi.
Sabine's gonna be a Jedi?
Is
Okay.
becoming a Jedi.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
and then he was
wanna be
like,
a
"I want to be
Jedi."
one too." Yeah,
Do we think
Dude, if
that's
anyone's going to be a
something
Jedi,
Chopper's
that
like,
he'll follow?
"Rob,
Chopper's
you
gonna
suck."
be
yeah,
Rob.
What? But not likely.
no, he should be a Jedi. Jason should
Do
be
we
a Jedi.
think that will happen?
Eventually, it should.
Yeah, Jason
And
Solo.
by the time the sequel
on, man.
trilogy
Yeah.
comes around,
Do
it
you
doesn't-
think? Do you think that
That's
they
a
would
point.
put that line of dialogue in there for just no reason? I mean,
No.
No.
What if he
maybe.
dies?
No.
All
We
right.
have the credits for Marok.
He's gonna get
His
pinned
name
by
is
Luke.
Paul Darnell.
Paul Darnell.
I think
That's not
he's
Galen
the-
Merrick.
He's just the body. If they have a face reveal, it'll be something different, but he's the body.
Body.
Anyway,
so
he also
is not-
plays the Edward Cullen body double,
Mm,
stunt
Who's
double
Edward
person.
Cullen.
In
Twilight.
Twilight?
No. I never saw Twilight.
Me neither, but at least I, the name.
You
is
lucked
just-
out.
It's showing up here on the Goog. What else? What
The
else?
Goog.
Cool.
The Guggenheim.
Remind me when we are getting close to finishing our review of the episode to give me 1 second here. Remind me that I want to
Oh, he
talk
wasn't
about
talking
some
to us.
theories. Okay, I want to talk about some theories.
Yeah, as
Okay.
yeah,
We were talking to us.
certainly. Okay, let's go back to the scene where Ahsoka and Sabine are talking to each other, and where Sabine tries to use the Force. And in my mind, I was like, "Don't you dare be able to
Yeah.
use the Force in this
That's
moment."
exactly what I was thinking.
He's like, this better
Oh.
not be easy.
From the easy perspective, but also the perspective of raise your hand if you tried to use the Force.
Oh,
Oh, I literally
oh.
yelled at my TV. I said,
DJ, you've never
Rachel,
tried to use the Force? See,
CJ
I think
You
Yes.
didn't watch Star Wars
I've
Young enough,
pretended
my
to
friend.
use it on the doors that open automatically.
Dude, so many
I
times I was laying in my
legitimately tried
bed
to
like,
use the Force.
"Come
I'm pretty
on."
sure I've uttered a very close dialogue to what she did. It's like, if I just, it's in all of us. If I just try hard enough.
I said
I
to
was
Rachel, I
thinking-
yelled at my TV. I said, "I know how you feel, Sabine. I've tried."
Yeah, so I was thinking Dave knows we all have done that, so he's kind of trying to play on our real life emotions.
Maybe.
So I was like, please don't let her use the, and she didn't. So I was very.
Yeah, I was very
Happy.
glad that it literally just did not move an inch. I was like, exactly what I.
I'm
would-
here
And
for
then they
it.
showed the camera panned right back to it because she was like, "Well, you're not going to make it easy on me," and then it just went to
Or
the
you win
still
this
cup.
round or whatever.
Yeah. And the cup was just like,
Smug.
You win this
looking
one.
at
I
him.
thought that was funny.
yeah,
Yeah,
that was good.
that was good. Jinx.
That was good. That was good. And then we talked about the battle
Hmm.
already. That's
Battle of Hoth.
I thought the lightsaber deflection on the ship didn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah,
I don't know why they would
agree
just
with-
not shoot in a different
or
spot.
just shoot the ship because they were trying to kill Ahsoka.
yeah. They were
specifically.
trying to get Ahsoka. That's how I took it.
Hmm.
Also, when Ahsoka was like floating away and
You
she's
destroy
like,
the ship 2 for 1.
she's like, "Come get me!" It's like, bro,
Oh,
have you
for a
never seen
second.
ju-
Princess Leia I
know.
Way through space.
For a second, I was just like, please don't do the Leia. Please
I
don't do the
know,
Leia.
No,
right?
if
You know
anyone
what?
could have, it should have been her.
Because she's
Yeah.
alive still.
No
That's
more.
probably why they didn't do it though.
Yeah.
Because they
God.
didn't want people to freak out.
They learned their lesson.
Like there'll be too
No.
many memes. There'll be too many memes.
But they're gonna stab Sabine in the stomach.
That's fine.
The-
I can get
The
over that.
side. The
I don't
side
care. I don't
That's
care.
fine.
John.
John, have you seen any videos about that?
Yeah, I know it wasn't a vital kill.
Yeah, and
I
actually,
saw that
one we've
video and I
complained
didn't
about
watch it.
Yeah, so I watched it, and we've complained
And
about
Qui-Gon was a
the
kill shot.
Qui-Gon.
I know.
100% a kill
Maybe
shot.
her saber isn't as strong.
She
Now,
has
what's
any
stupid
rebel
about
saber, duh.
it? What's dumb about it is that these Sith keep stabbing people
Yes.
and not killing them. Like,
yes.
slice.
So we better have a. We need
Or-
just like a little
or
reason
just that
as to
arrogant.
why Shin Heti didn't kill her. Because literally, you stab in and you just move to the right like 3 inches
Cut
and
them in half.
you're through the spine.
Thinking Obi-Wan was a Jedi, and
One
he
of
cut a
these.
dude in half when he didn't have to.
Yeah.
It didn't even matter. Didn't do
Yeah,
nothing.
came back anyway. You know what? Maybe we're wrong. Maybe just lightsaber's the
Ruthless
least lethal
efficiency.
weapon of all time.
They cauterize your
Yeah.
internal organs and they give you new ones.
Yeah.
Oh, and we
I
lost Craig.
agree with what you're saying. Like
Yeah.
it would take like an extra 2 seconds to just make sure she was finished off. But
Do the twist, man.
yeah. Or just go a little or just like push in a little deeper just to like
Yeah.
really solidify it.
Yeah. Here's my emitter. It's hotter.
Or just do a little forced jump, back flip away with it still inside, and you're done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the dude, the backflip while you slice, because then you slice them in half too. It's great. Classic.
So with the stabbing thing though, I really hope that we just get like one sentence explaining why she didn't kill her. I guess it's not the end of the world if we don't get it, but I mean, it's kind of
I
just
mean,
like
Yeah, it's
I'll
kind of
Very
lame.
few lines
we know
from her.
why she's a main character. They didn't want to kill her, yada yada. But
I don't think we
Yeah.
will. I don't think we will, John.
so.
That
what-
Shin character, she is even when she doesn't.
Before
say
we get
anything,
the
I like
Shin, before we get the
Perfect.
Shin, since we were talking about the Ahsoka flipping around, I do want to stay on that a little more, just because why wouldn't she? So are you guys telling me you didn't like that she didn't use the Force to pull herself back to the ship, or you didn't like it if she would have done that?
I'm not saying I
I
would have
just-
liked it or not.
maybe she did it in a different way.
It
Like
would've
maybe
been
what if
fine.
she guided the ship towards her or something. If she had
That
just
would've
done the
been
straight
way
up like,
more OP.
if she just like reached her hand out and like sucked herself in like Leia did, I would have just been like,
So
would've
I
been
would
fine
have
with
liked it
it.
to just have looked different. Like maybe she just pulled herself and does it quickly
Yeah,
instead of just
yeah.
the slow float. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah,
mhm.
The slow
like
float. would
she
be dumb.
literally is super strong with the Force. How
Yeah.
is she not able to pull
Yeah.
herself to a
It
ship?
wouldn't have bothered me. I'm just saying the entire fandom would have done Mary
Would have made a
Poppins
comparison.
Yeah,
Yes,
maybe
100%.
what Jake is saying, they just went the ultra safe route.
If she had done the same pose, it would have bothered
Oh
me.
yeah.
Okay, but then
Auto
when
ride
she
it.
was doing flips on the ship, gravity isn't pulling her back to that ship.
No, 100%. It was
So
absolutely.
her Force jump was pulling herself back to the ship.
Or the magnets on her boots.
Or the magnetic boots. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or both.
How
Gotta
do
be
we
the
know
boot.
she has magnetic boots? There was
John,
no.
when she
Her
comes
babble
back
droids
to
have
the
'em.
ship, she runs on the ship.
Okay, but
with
you
her
don't
boots,
see
and
any
yes,
resistance.
You do. You see it
You
clanking
don't-
on. Her
Okay.
boots clank on when she gets back to the ship.
I'm
Okay, but
pretty
then when
sure
she
they were
walks,
magnetic.
it's not like "Mwah, mwah." It's like normal running on the ship.
I mean, they're probably
back and watch it
programmed
again,
so if
John.
there's
I'm,
any
wa-
like
I'm gonna
Their
watch it right
technology
now.
is just really
resistance?
advanced.
It's just enough
No, it-
resistance. It knows.
Lucens.
Rise of the
Yeah, exactly.
Resistance.
Yeah. I don't
haven't
think
gone
the
on that
suit
yet.
would
Is
be
that any good?
designed to rely on the Force to keep her there. I think it would be designed.
All right, I'm
for
watching it
magnetic.
right now.
Alright,
there was
you do
no.
it.
That would work for
Get it,
like
John.
3
Yeah, no, I'm
people
not
in this
buying it, guys.
galaxy.
Sorry.
I don't think the suit was designed. It was just designed for the average, person.
Yep.
Like anyone
No,
who didn't
this
have
is
the Force
designed
needs
for
to
the
be able to
average
use.
Togruta.
Yeah, fair.
So
It has
did
the
Hu Yang,
custom
did Hu
head
Yang, yeah, suit up that thing, sew it up,
Yeah, he definitely did.
seamstress. All right, we can talk about Shin now.
How did you like Hu Yang training Ahsoka with the commands?
Sabine.
Or Sabine, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I liked it.
That was
I thought it
cool.
was
I liked it a lot.
It felt
Yeah.
it looked like a Wii game or something where it showed how you
Yeah.
actually cross the barrier.
Mhm.
Beat Saber or something. Yeah.
Beat Saber.
Literally,
Um,
Sabine should listen to her music.
Yeah, if
and
she just
play
put on the
Beat Saber.
Oculus, man, she'd be a Jedi already. Like, I don't know, she's
That's how
Did
she
you see
gets
all
in
the
her mood to
lightsabers
paint,
that
bro.
Ahsoka had in her ship?
Huh? I did.
There was a
Put that
lot.
wanna
up. Let's-
show 'em up
I wanna
on
see it.
screen?
Yeah, I want to see.
wanna
it.
put 'em up on
yeah.
screen?
Yeah.
There
Bring
was
those
like
up.
8, right?
There were 4 training sabers at the top. I gotta scrub to it. It's gonna take a second.
Come on, Adam. Ooh, Adam's taking defenses already, John or Jake.
Stupid.
I'm here for it. Oh, round
Did you
10
notice
defense?
anything? I didn't notice anything too
No, it was going too fast.
understanding about the sabers.
Enjoy it. I got my Republic gunship right back here, Jim. Right,
Ugh.
back.
I need to see your full collection. At
See,
some point.
my gunship is not assembled. I stopped. I don't know, a quarter of the way done because I got busy and then I never came back.
Why can't I?
It's kind of intimidating when you get older for whatever reason, just because you're like, dang, this is a lot of commitment, man.
That's a
There's
least
a lot of
whole
time I don't
afternoon right
have.
there.
Okay, I think I got it.
This is one of my favorites, though.
Yeah,
That's a
you
good
need to
one.
get that one. It's a good one.
You got to get all 3 of them, and then build the big boy.
That's what sucks, dude. Like, it's gonna be expensive now. I don't know how much it's gonna
That's
be.
not the right tab.
Yep, that wasn't. I saw myself from the past.
That was
do
YouTube.
it.
Disney Plus.
go
There
on
we go.
YouTube.
Okay. Little blurry, but I think you guys
7
can. So we've got the
7.
the couple of training
remote.
balls,
Mm-hmm.
and then we've got these. Those are the
Does those
training
look like
ones.
anybody's you know, gentleman? That one.
Ooh, actually,
that one looks a
that
little
bottom
bit
one
like.
kind of looks like Galen Merrick's.
Think so? Maybe.
Let me pull it up.
Whose could she have?
Yeah, I'm
The
trying to
one-
think
The
who
one on
she
the
could
top
have.
right now looks a little bit like Luke's, but it also looks a
It's
little different at the
definitely
top too.
different. Yeah, the emitter and switch is definitely different.
That
Yeah.
bottom one almost looks like it's double blade. I'm sorry, the top one. I mean,
Yeah, it could be. I don't think so.
oh wait,
Yeah,
no, it's the
just the
emitter
cap.
is top. The
The
emitter
emitter is on the left.
for all 3
Yeah.
of these.
Yeah.
There's where the blade comes out of.
Okay.
All right. I don't know how I'm gonna change. I should just share.
I got the Yavin temple right here, Jim.
Yeah,
Right there.
this is a good set.
No, I can't.
Did you build it?
So remember this.
I don't have it. No.
Oh,
This is Star Killers,
oh, that's cool.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then don't forget it. That bottom one.
Mm,
It's no way the same, but it's just
It's not the same,
kinda
but it's similar.
yeah, similar.
Similar. Yeah.
They're all kind of tubular shaped and have some silver on and black on them.
Dude, I,
Yeah, I don't really think they're anyone's,
I want to
but
get a custom lightsaber.
I mean, one of these isn't Sabine's, right?
no.
Which one does Ezra's lightsaber looks like? Let's see here. Ezra Bridger.
The middle one, I'd guess, middle or
No.
top.
It's kind of thin.
Okay, here we go. So
But
it has
none
black
of
on
them.
it.
None of
Yeah.
them are that.
Okay.
But
Well, the bottom one.
it
Let's
doesn't
see
have
here.
She modified it as well to have Jaro Tapal's emitter
Okay.
with the 2 fins.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah, that's right.
But Shin, Jacob, I'm giving you a chance to talk about
Oh,
Shin.
okay. Shit.
You said every time she comes on screen.
I think she's a really good actress.
Yeah.
Just even when she's flying and just the intensity with which she is doing everything, the way she's looking for them. But she still has like a sense of command, but urgency. You know what I mean? Like she's not
Yeah.
just Ahsoka's just so calm all the time.
Yeah.
And Shin is like the counterpart to that, whereas she is more urgent and impatient, it seems, but she's still in control.
Because she's
And,
still
like-
following orders.
I like what you said. Intense. She's like
Mhm.
super focused in on what she's doing.
Yes. And just her eyes are always wide
Yeah.
open, just
See,
wide
that
open
kind of
eyes.
freaked me out. I'll be honest.
And I think that's a
She-
good thing.
But that she's like Jake
They
said, she's a
showed
good
her
actress.
a little
She's a
too
good
much
actress.
doing nothing, in my opinion, in her cockpit. It was just
Yeah.
like they didn't have enough footage, and it was kind of like, all right, let's just show Shin again, just doing this.
Not enough like commands, I guess, or like strategy.
Like if they would have had some more dialogue between her and Elsbeth or her and Marok, it would have been
Like
a little
the
more.
one time where she's like, Merrick on my wing or something like that. You would have liked some more of that kind of stuff. Or I'm
No,
going
well,
in or
The part when they really lingered a little too much was when her and Morgan were talking, and it was just they were flying and they were trying to fill that dead space with just B-roll essentially. But I was kind of expecting Morgan and Shin to go back and forth and be like, Shin say, I'm gonna get him, and Morgan be like, no, wait, hold on, like I have a plan for them, and then
Mhm.
Shin go in anyways. That's kind of what I
Yeah.
was expecting. But
yeah, the
I wasn't mad that it
snippy,
didn't
like
happen,
making
it
fun
just-
of each other thing was weird. Where she was like, I'm surprised she let them get this far. And
Yeah.
then after she shots him, she's like, congratulations, you almost got them. I was like,
Mhm.
I thought that was fine. I mean,
yeah, it's weird because it fits Rebels. Rebels was
Yeah.
100% like that. But seeing it in live action, I always expect live action to be the more adult version
More
of Star
polished.
Wars. Yeah. But it's
Refined.
still, I mean, Filoni is not trying to make this anything
don't know.
separate than Rebels.
CJ.
I think it's more supposed to be like just a subtle indication that like they don't like each other.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of
Maybe.
I don't know.
I
I
agree.
feel like there's some kind of betrayal that'll happen at some point
Yeah.
along the lines.
Yeah, I get what
I
Jake's
think-
saying.
They're doing little things like that to build animosity between them.
Sure.
Mhm.
I do think Shin is not a big Morgan fan. And I think that she is only really going along with all of this stuff just because her master is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that she's interested in the cause that they're pursuing. So I'm interested to see more about Shin's motivations and her character. And I think that I would not be surprised to see her turning on them.
Yeah, like almost like she thinks like, okay, I'm going along with this because my master says so, but I think I could just overthrow this Morgan person at any time if I really wanted to.
Yeah. Why do we need her?
Yeah.
Or we only need her for now, and then once we don't need her
Yeah.
anymore, like
I'm sure her master's gonna overthrow him too.
And if not, then Shin will just overthrow her master. And then overthrow Morgan.
yeah.
So what about these space whales, the purgils?
I was happy to see
I-
him.
How do you say it
Enjoyed
again?
that part.
Purgil.
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 The Purgils.
Purr.
Purgil.
Are you asking what their presence there means, or
Just all the above.
Did you
your
enjoy
thoughts? Yeah, I was.
Seeing them fully in live action? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I think the reason the hyperspace ring is there, part of it is because Purgils go there. It's because it's the lane, so it's all
Mhm.
it's natural for them to be there. It's nothing.
that's true.
Yeah, there's nothing extraordinary going on there. Ezra didn't bring them there to save the day or anything like that. No, like it's just a natural like travel point for them to migrate back and forth. That's
It's
how I took
their,
it.
I
Anyways.
appreciate
Yeah.
CJ.
I appreciate that they're actually trying to integrate it, I guess, into how Ezra and them disappeared. Like when they found the map in the first 2 episodes,
Hmm.
it was kind of like, how is there a map that knows where Thrawn is? But I think connecting it to the Purgil and like their migration and the hyperspace lanes they use, at least they
Mhm.
kind of ground it in something where it
Yeah.
makes some sort of sense. And it's not
Yeah.
just them like randomly finding them somewhere.
Yeah, I really appreciated that as well.
So
I think that I also think it appears that they have set up base here before they found the map. So, or before they accessed the map, like they'd been building this thing for a while. So I think that Elsbeth had tracked the Purgil from wherever they were. It was Lothal, from Lothal to this planet, and knew that the hyperspace lane leading to this other galaxy or
Yeah.
wherever the
It
Purgil
starts
went
here.
starts here.
Yeah.
Exactly. And especially when she finds, hundreds of Purgil traveling there, and she probably observes them taking off, right? So that makes some sense. That answers some questions for us.
Yeah.
Now she just has to find where are they going and how are they getting there. The map allows them to do that. And I just think it's really interesting to imagine that Thrawn and Ezra probably did not jump straight to that galaxy. They came to this planet first. And I wonder how long that was until they jumped again across galaxy. You know, what was going on there? I'm really excited to see when we do see Thrawn and Ezra, what that journey and what their time has looked like since they've been gone.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because I know a lot of people, partially myself included, and we've kind of brought it up here, is, well, and even CJ, the map. How is this map like showing where Thrawn is, but connecting? And I think you do have to get there. Dave hasn't spelled it out for us yet, but I feel like it's just logically reasonable to where the Purgils come here, and then the Purgils, because the Purgils took Ezra.
Okay, it's like
Thrawn
deer
there,
and fish. The plural of Purgil is Purgil.
Did I say Purgils?
Lego.
Like 4 times. I
The
almost shot
Purgils.
myself.
I don't know if is it a non-count noun?
Yep.
Rubik's Cube yourself.
So the Purgils go from here to there.
Yeah, so this map that was
Because I'm
created by
thinking
these
whales. Whales is the plural.
space
of whale
whales
is
would be
whales.
plural, correct?
So the space whales, they're going back and forth.
Yes,
Like,
it's their migratory patterns.
Way back when the Night Sisters figure that out, I'm assuming it's
Not even the Night Sisters. So there was that map was not created by the Night Sisters. The map was created by the ancient beings that came from the other galaxy and talked with the Night Sisters and gave them that map. So
nice.
So they have this mapped out. So this map, which we talked about last week, is not leading to the exact location of Thrawn. It is leading to this galaxy and to a certain point where they were dropped off, more or less. So once we reach this galaxy, they're going to have to spend some time looking for them still.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, they could have gone.
If I was Thrawn, I'd probably just set up shop right there. And maybe
like, imagine coming into the Star Wars galaxy from that point, and then just trying to find one person somewhere in the Star Wars galaxy. Like,
one thing I was thinking about: do we expect to see? Do we expect to see them spend a lot of time in this galaxy? We talked about it last week, and I really think they're going to be spending quite a bit of time in this other galaxy.
Should we save the theorizations to the end?
No, but we can talk about it now.
We've got like 2 minutes left in the episode.
Okay, fair.
That we can just kind of wrap up. Because I just wanted to bring up like the super cool scenes and photography of the ship in the red leafed. Just kind of, even the way it landed gave me Phantom Menace vibes when the droid ship landed and then the Naboo starfighter landed. Just, little shot stuff. Sure. And then just that kind of red Japanese looking forest. I thought looked really
that
cool
was really cool.
with the shot photography in that the ship just landed in that area.
Yeah, I agree.
In the same scene, Hu Yang talks about this being a hyperspace ring. We are not expecting this hyperspace ring to attach to any other ship, correct? It's just going to go on its own.
Yes.
It's the rocket that you need to go to space, essentially.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm not really sure the necessity of it being a ring, but
they just said it was like faster for whatever reason.
Yeah.
You need aerodynamics in space.
Yeah. Yes. It's got to be it.
But and then we get Balin doing Balin stuff. He really doesn't.
It's like menacing.
What does he say? Like go search the woods and find the Jedi.
They are in the woods.
Hunt them out. He says, hunt them out.
Yeah. Yeah. He had his one line.
Hunt them down. Which is kind of
crazy.
But
you can see at the end though, as he looks away, you can just see the conflict in him though. He does not like the idea of wiping out Jedi. He does not.
Yeah.
I don't know. He looked kind of evil to me.
Yeah, he looks really.
I think he looked committed.
Yeah, but he like Jake said, he even said it in the previous episode. He doesn't like the idea of having to kill.
Yeah, he did say that.
Yeah.
All right, now we can theorize. Go.
Heir of the Empire, we're getting it.
How so?
They're gonna recreate that book trilogy, but loosely, essentially.
To what extent are you saying, David?
We already have
it can't be exactly the same.
I don't think they're gonna have Sabe off.
The Dark Jedi Master established. That's in the book series. They're going to find him. They already have Admiral Pelion established in universe. They've mentioned heir to the Empire. That's like most of it already.
But what do you expect to happen that's the same as the books? Because they're not going to have a clone of Luke.
No, I
Yeah.
don't expect
Or is that who Marok is?
No.
Ooh. Shoot. Sheesh.
Original for me. Just kidding. Just kidding.
I'll
That's
start
what I
throwing
was-
things if
If you throw anything against the wall,
You
if
don't
it
want
sticks,
Luke with
we're
two
right.
U's? Luke.
Who's Marok? Everyone go around the room. Who's
nobody.
Marok? Nobody.
Yeah, he's probably. My
Yeah,
opinion,
he's
he's
just a
probably he's
dude.
probably just a dude inquisitor that they're
Just
gonna,
a dude playing
someone,
a dude disguised
at
as
some
another
point-
dude.
At some point, there has to be some guy
It's that or is
Ahsoka-
Ezra, right?
I'll just say
Ahsoka
Ezra.
fights and kills. It's Ezra. No, I don't think it's Ezra.
I don't think it is, but I want
He's
to
not
be
Ezra.
saying something
But if
different.
he were someone, I think that's like the only person he could be.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. If he was someone significant,
What if
yeah.
he's Kanan Jarrus, but like a little evil?
Yeah.
They
So
brought him
people
back
who
in
are
for
saying
Palpatine style.
He's most certainly not Barris. Offie.
No, it's
Zombie
definitely a man.
Jarrus.
100% a man.
Very early on, there were some thoughts, but definitely not Barris.
I do want to know what happened to her though.
I know.
It
they
could be
need to-
Ezra because the height is
No, it's
reasonably
Zombie
correct.
Jarrus.
What'd you say? CJ?
Jarrus.
Said Jarrus. Kanan.
Kanan.
Kanan is DED.
That man
Yeah,
dead.
that's why it's Zombie
Is
Jarrus.
Yeah.
that-
Dude,
Mike's
Lazarus
sister.
Pit, duh.
He's too short.
Lazarus Pit.
He's gonna bring Batman in.
You got stronger.
So my
That's
thought
crazy.
is, if it is Ezra, Ezra is infiltrating the ranks.
I think he's tried. If he's infiltrating the ranks, he would not have fought Ahsoka the way he did. No way.
Why?
But he lost.
He didn't lose
Lose. But why bring the lightsaber back at her and risk killing her at the end?
because he
She
knew
would
she,
also sense
wouldn't
him,
die.
wouldn't she?
putting on a show.
She
He
should
didn't
have
even
had
move.
some conflict.
Dude, I'm telling you. This new
That
Star
fight
Wars
was too
universe has no subterfuge. There's not going to mislead
I
you.
know.
They're not going to mislead you. They paint everything out in black and white.
That's
Think
fair.
about Mandalorian.
It sucks.
So you
We've
were
been
expecting
theorizing
the Last
that the
Jedi?
armorer is evil this whole time. We've been thinking the armorer is evil this whole time.
Well,
What if she is?
She's not, David.
I mean, we were throwing it out there. I don't know if we seriously thought that she was a bad guy.
Well,
No,
we just
there-
thought that there was a traitor, and we're like, there has to
Yeah,
be,
someone
right?
had to be
Yeah,
feeding
when,
him.
when there's a
evidence.
traitor, we were like, who's the traitor? Who is it? There's got to be a traitor. It was exactly who we thought it was. The girl who's pretending to be a Republic officer
yeah.
or whatever
Yeah.
and was just a traitor. or a
Yeah, I
spy.
was like, ah, lame.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, we cannot
Former
continue to
Empire
write
guy.
a better story. We
Yeah.
have to let ourselves say we cannot write a better story
Ooh.
than the writers did, because the more we think about it, the more we're going to be disappointed when they don't.
I think it's
So-
just an Inquisitor. Just an
Agreed.
Inquisitor.
I don't know. I don't think
definitely-
having that be Ezra would necessarily be a better story. I think it'd be kind of weird.
Oh, I agree. I would
Yeah.
agree, CJ.
It's
No, I
just
would like it-
weird.
I would like it if they
Someone.
made it an Inquisitor that we maybe kind of knew. Like,
Yeah, please.
yeah,
The
but-
brother
I don't
from
think there
Rebels.
are any left though.
Yeah, the brother from Rebels.
He
He,
was bigger.
seemingly died. No, he was skinny and
Oh, you mean
Slender.
the one that died when within the mall episode?
yeah.
We
How did you
like,
talk about
watch
that?
that.
Is that
So
the-
he died because he was
Didn't
fighting
work.
Kanan. So there was
When
the
he
three
flew and he couldn't
inquisitors.
fly anymore.
There were three inquisitors there.
the out of control copter.
and
Yeah.
he goes up and he says, "I'll take them." And they're like, the other two inquisitors say, "Let him thin them out, and then we'll go, get the Rubik's
The
cube,
holocron.
the holocron."
MacGuffin.
And so he fights Kanan and almost attacks him out of nowhere. And he's like, whatever. And they fight. And then he's fighting Kanan, Ahsoka, and Ezra. And he gets his lightsaber hit. And he tries to fly away, and it short circuits. splits
It
in
was
half,
true.
and he just falls to his death off the
And-
side of the
And I know exactly what happened after that. He was so freaking embarrassed that he just left.
He just disappeared. He's like,
Just jumps
"That
off
was
into lava.
so bad. I cannot show
Lava?
my helmeted face again." I mean, honestly, that guy was helmeted the entire time too, so very well could be him.
jumps.
Yeah, and then he got picked up eventually by Shin and Balin.
Yeah.
So
And they didn't
is
know
it-
about his little mishap, so they let him join the club.
So, is it possible to unmodulate his voice into a higher pitch and to retain any semblance of what his voice sounds like?
I
Is it
feel
anything-
like they definitely know the fan base that someone would try that. So they would.
I feel like I need to try that. I think I could do
Hey,
it in
maybe you're
Final
onto
Cut
something.
Pro.
I think you are onto something.
It's just
Or,
Dave Filoni's voice.
I mean,
What
like,
is this garbage? I want a refund.
unless they completely, which I imagine they would completely modulate his voice for Chopper, because as you all probably should know, he voiced Chopper.
Mhm.
Did all of you know that?
wobble. I love Chopper.
So,
It's definitely not Star Killer. Let's just say that.
or is it?
They would have to seriously nerf him, man. They'd have to seriously nerf
They
him.
would.
Well, that's the thought
fine.
that he's from this new galaxy
cares?
where it's allowed in this new galaxy to
Yeah.
be totally OP.
Okay.
Maybe not. At any rate, I think the next episode is certainly going to wrap up this arc. This
What do we-
arc is getting a little stale.
Yeah, where do we go with the next? What do we do?
I think
so
we're going
we're
to-
on the planet.
Yeah, we're going to Paranoida
Paradia.
next episode. Paradia.
Paranoid.
Paranoid.
Oh, no, Paradis is.
Paradise.
Jack Black's planet.
What did I just watch? That's Oh,
Paradigm.
Attack on Titan.
Ah, nice. Good one.
that
one.
the name of the island is Paradis.
The pathway to Peridia.
I catch
Peridia.
up
Oh,
on
so I
that.
was close. Paradia.
It's like a Pangea.
Yeah. Very
Starts with
interesting
P?
parallels here.
It just starts with P.
And it has
Um,
Ia.
All right, let's theorize. So some theories that are floating out there. I've seen a couple. Is that they are going to get stuck in this galaxy, and it's going to be an essential reboot for Star Wars in this time period.
Ooh,
Do you think
Um,
it's possible that time works differently?
salivating.
Interesting. I don't know.
Like, do you think Ezra thinks he's only been gone for like 20 minutes?
Interesting.
That'd be wild.
I'd like that. I'd like that.
I'm saying it's far out there, but I just want to say that that's a thought.
I just don't know how that stuff
And he comes
works,
back a
you
good
know?
Jedi Master.
You're getting very interstellar now.
I know,
fine.
I know, I am.
I
I,
like
like I realize
Interstellar.
it's far out there, but if in all of Star Wars, there's only been like one timey-wimey thing, and it's been with Ezra. So
Oh, true.
Yeah, I don't know. Mayhaps. But what do you guys think about that? Do you think that Star Wars could go in it? Because there is an issue with Star Wars, is that all
An
the
issue?
stories, but several, all the stories that we're currently getting right now are handicapped by what we know is still going to come.
right,
The
That's
only
true.
one that is not is the one that's set thousands of years in the past, The Dawn of the Jedi. And I'm still not convinced that movie is going to be made. The guy who's making it just lost $100 million for Disney when he made the Indiana Jones movie.
I'd bet another 100 million on him.
So I don't know
Keep
what's
making
going to
them,
happen
guys.
with that movie.
if he had an extra 100 million, then
But what I do worry about is what I have heard is that this would allow them to tell stories with the same characters they have and not be handicapped by that future that we know is coming. So we don't have to know, this stuff doesn't really matter. The First Order is coming. I don't think personally that's going to happen. I think there's been too much already hinted at about the New Republic falling that they're going to be sticking with that plot line. I know Star Wars Theory is the one that theorized this, and he believes.
wait,
that
are you? I
they're gonna
think I
do
just picked
this.
up on what yours might be. Are you saying that there could be a new, like, completely new Jedi Order in another galaxy that just
Correct.
Like, what if they get there
Well-
and the Force doesn't even work there?
Well,
man?
here's the thing.
I
So
don't- yeah.
that's an interesting theory because the very, very last expanded universe book series that they did was legit. Hey, Luke and Luke's son, we need to go like voyaging where Han Solo's kid went voyaging on the outer like expanded universe because we don't know how like all these threats came out of nowhere and they found
Mhm.
like a like whole planet of Sith. Like Old Republic, like Sith
Yeah.
Emperor, like the whole works.
So it's like the How It Should Have Ended Bad Guy Cafe. They're gonna run into one of those.
Sure.
Where they're all at.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Do you think that could work starting Star Wars over in a new galaxy?
It would feel too Marvel-y, comic booky a little bit.
Almost like here's the next generation. Just forget about whatever happened in the other galaxy.
Yeah, they got their own story now. They don't have to worry about anything in the past.
I could certainly say I wouldn't be mad. I would be like, okay, I've always got this core to go back to.
Yep, that's your core Star Wars.
But now
be tainted.
I can watch this new thing without having to worry about anything over here screwing it up.
Yep.
Right.
So they could call it Star Wars: The Next Generation.
Oh my god.
Just a thought.
No.
Why not?
Or Star Peace.
Star battles.
But I mean, then what if they just ruin this one? Then, like, it doesn't excuse
if you mess up two chances, I think it's over.
storytelling. Like,
Fooled me once.
and the fans are going to see right through it that this is them admitting that what they did was wrong, and they ruined it. Like,
I mean,
Disney
they
doesn't
already
want to
said
do
it was
that.
wrong. We already know.
When did they say it?
They very recently they admitted that they did a bad job on the sequels and that they were rushed.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say cake.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair, but we don't have faith that they will do that in this galaxy. So we're like, just run it back. Start at the beginning. Start over. New test. You get a brand new one.
Yeah, but I mean that's kind of in my mind along the same vein as just retconning the sequels. If you just default to retconning the sequels, then
if you're gonna do that, you may as well just retcon it.
Yeah, because it's basically the same thing. You're just saying, "Oh, we didn't make as much money as we wanted to. Let's just try it again."
Yeah, I guess. Well, I think what Jake's saying is that this is a way for them to do that without having to retcon it, without having to erase what they already made.
Yeah,
it's potato.
Without having to explain why Ahsoka's not around when Force Awakens happens, without having to explain why Ezra's not around.
Yeah,
which I believe in Filoni. I believe he can do that. I believe he has the
like if they retconned, if they ever retconned anything, how could they ever merchandise anything off of those three movies?
The retcons
they never will. They're not gonna.
No.
They're not
I think
gonna
they don't care at this
merchandise the sequels anymore. They're not.
Yeah, it's not like they sell.
I don't see
I
any
don't see all
sequel
that.
merch anywhere.
Still see old like sequel merch in our clearance aisle at Walmart.
Yeah, the only thing I see from the sequels
I certainly
is
don't own any.
Yeah, nope.
that Y-wing back there that I actually really like.
Oh, I have the set with Jedi Master Luke where he's teaching
Octo.
Rey.
Yep,
on
I have that
Octo, yeah.
one back there as well.
I'm not familiar with that set.
It's a good one. Isn't it one of the only ones with Master Luke?
It
in
is the only set with him.
So that's going to be a nice little fig.
Yeah.
What's it worth
You
nowadays?
should buy a couple of those before they go up. Good idea.
All right, John, what was the theory you were talking about that Denim Nerds, Josh from Denim Nerds had? You were bringing it up. I started watching their video.
Yuuzhan
but I
Vong?
didn't get to it.
Yeah, David,
Oh.
since you know.
He basically said that Thrawn's threat. I think he was like leading to the Thrawn's threat on the Outer Rim was Yuuzhan Vong, and they were sending satellite ships, like
Well,
essentially
the threat
scout
that he
ships.
was worried about was the Chiss.
Yes.
I'm sorry, not the Chiss, the Grist.
The Grisk, yeah, but he was saying that either the Vong controlled the Grisk, or I don't know where he was going with it, but like the Vong were like one of the main, catalysts of his theory.
Thanks, Gabe. We appreciate the bluntness.
So basically, he was connecting real life events to in Star Wars universe events. So basically, way back when.
John, I need you to take those sunglasses off.
Why?
Oh, no.
They're helping my vision. They're my blue light filters.
Is that what they
Hurting
are?
my eyes.
This is theory,
They are
John.
now.
This is theory, John.
Whenever we have theories,
John.
John, you have to wear those.
So way back when, in the early days of Rebels / Clone Wars, I think early days of Rebels, Filoni had a sketch of Yuuzhan Vong. No, were they Yuuzhan Vong drones? Ships?
I think
And
they
they
were
looked-
because it said Yuuzhan Vong on it. Literally
Yeah.
said the words.
Correct. So
Interesting.
it looks like purgils. They look kind of like purgils. These big blobs with little trails coming off of them.
Well,
Yeah.
wasn't the
So-
Yuuzhan Vong ships like organic? Always
Yeah.
been always organic? Yeah.
Yeah, the
Which-
whole ships are like organic material that like bonds together.
Right. Yeah.
Which kind of fits with, I mean, the purgils
Voltron.
are organic beings.
Yeah. It didn't
So-
look like them though.
So that, in addition to, it's documented that Filoni wanted to do a Yuuzhan Vong arc in a Rebels sequel show, an animated show. He was going to do, evidently, according to sources, he was literally going to do that.
I mean, if
So
I saw
that-
yeah.
In
Please do
combination
it.
with this, in combination with the seeds that have been sown with Thrawn, with Heir to the Empire, with this, that, and the other, with the fact that Filoni and Zahn apparently talk a lot
Ooh.
and
Ooh.
just discuss.
Giggity.
And
Are you-
Filoni loves Timothy Zahn, loves his work, etc.,
Are you
etc. So just all these seeds that
Is
have
this
been
who we're getting to write the
sown-
movie?
Are you saying that there's even a small possibility that I could get a Yuuzhan Vong Lego figure?
set.
Ooh.
I don't even know what they look
Ooh.
like, but yeah.
Speaking of using Vong, did you guys ever read the book Rogue Planet?
No.
I did.
Oh,
It's a
phenomenal.
good one.
One of my
Good one.
favorites. It's about
dude.
Anakin and Obi-Wan when Anakin is like just very freshly Padawan to
Yeah.
Obi-Wan.
2 to 3 years in, 4 maybe.
They travel to this planet, and I believe because they heard it's the fastest ships in the galaxy, something like that, and they wanted to get one.
Yeah, something like that.
Something along those lines. I don't remember what exactly it was, but they get stuck there, and they meet with the people and they talk with the people and so on. But Anakin's connection to the Force and things around him is what allowed him to control this ship, because you have to connect with the ship itself. It has some organic components to the ship, and
You have to
like
plug into it.
you like plug into it with your hands. It goes into the console, and it's kind of similar to how the Skywalkers of the Chiss people. You've read those books, how they travel through hyperspace. You really should read the new Thrawn trilogy.
Come
Just
on,
audiobook it, so good. The new both Thrawn trilogies that have come out since Disney
No,
bought it are
I'll
phenomenal.
do it at some point.
Very good.
But it's really, really good. I highly recommend that. So one thing that I would like to see going forward when we do meet Thrawn is, and this has been done by Disney in their canon books, is Thrawn's motivation for what he is doing with the Empire is using the Empire to protect the Chiss ascendancy or the Chiss civilization. The whole reason he came to this galaxy was in order to gain favor with their leader. He was now what he believed about I shouldn't say the galaxy, this portion of the galaxy, the known regions. And at that time, he believed it was the Republic still. He finds out it's the Empire and aligns himself with Emperor Palpatine and works his way through the ranks to where he is now. And the deal is with the Empire is that once the Empire is secure, he would be able to use the Imperial fleet to expand out into the Chiss ascendancy and defend against the Grisk. That was his whole deal with the Emperor. Well, now that the Emperor is not around and the Imperial remnant wants Thrawn as their leader, I am hoping that he intends to still build this fleet up to its might and power and then use that against the Grisk. I hope that's where this story is going. And I think that since this isn't like legend stuff, Disney said everything they produce from here on out is canon. So that
Right.
should still be his motivation, in my opinion.
And that's one thing that I really hope we get. And that's what was so exciting about the expanded universe. It wasn't just a duality like, here we go, the rebellion against the Empire's still using stormtroopers that can't shoot. The rebels are still, and they're still being like overconfident about everything. Like, you got way more variety. So you got like, pirate factions, Black Sun that became rivaling the rebels. You got Imperial like sects that were as big as the Rebel Alliance, just a certain sect of them. So you got a lot more like variety, and then you had times when the whole galaxy felt it with the Vong, Imperials, and the Rebels in like a big old galaxy war. That just galaxy's better when it's a bigger place.
Agreed.
Or the universe
Mhm.
is better because
The
now that we're
extremes of
going
the
to another galaxy.
Yeah, but all good.
I
Theories,
don't-
all good theories.
I don't think we get to this other galaxy next episode.
Not
Nah,
with it
man.
only being 29 minutes
Mm.
long. Probably not.
Because
Oh,
we have to.
goodness.
We're now gonna have a fight.
Good catch there.
We're gonna have a fight in the woods. We've seen that in
Yeah,
teasers.
that's
and
going to be the
trailers.
whole next episode. It's going to be the
Fight in the woods.
Getting the
Then
ship fixed.
what's her name? Ahsoka and Balin are gonna talk in the little map area because we've seen that footage in the trailers of them talking
Hmm.
and fighting as well. So we're gonna get that. I think we're going to get the beginning of the voyage to the new galaxy
You
by
think
the
so?
end of it. Yeah.
With the
I think
Dawn
this will be a
Treader.
longer episode for sure. And I think we'll get that jump start into the next arc.
Please hope so.
And then
I
the
sure hope
following
so.
episode, which will be that'll be episode 5. So yeah, we definitely have to get some fire by episode 5. If anyone knows the rumors about episode 5.
I have not.
So
I don't wanna
I'll
know
just
him either.
say
I don't want to know him.
I'm looking forward to episode 5.
Nice.
It's going to be like the worst episode ever. Just watch.
Nice.
Yeah, hopefully.
That's the thing.
They're,
Like,
they're definitely traveling to the galaxy. Episode 5. 100%.
you guys,
We're already on gonna be on episode 5. And then the
Yeah,
week
that's
after
crazy.
that, it's next week's episode 4, then it's episode 5. Then after 5, I think it's episode 6. You
wow,
guys get to my drift?
man,
This
look
is
at
just
you. We got an
theory
accountant on board.
territory. This is all theorizing.
Yeah.
I think technically they're called parts, not episodes.
Chapters.
Did you
parts,
guys
whatever,
notice
yeah.
how the title of the episode was missing from this week's, but it was present on the other two?
What do you mean?
Specifically on the
Yeah, it was.
Disney Plus UI.
I did.
Oh, they tend to always do that. They
Yes,
they
it
don't
was.
show their.
No.
They just call it part 3.
Yeah.
It
But
said,
then
it
in
said
the
part
actual
3, time to
episode,
fly.
it's-
Oh,
Nope.
I see what you're saying. In the episode, it calls it time to fly.
Yeah,
in the
in the
menu.
episode, and I was like, oh, they did name the episode. Cool.
I think they do that after the fact, after it's been a couple days, so people aren't like, because they used to really spoil
That's
titles.
Yeah, that's
The
fair. 'cause
tragedy.
They
That
do
was
make
the
them
worst one.
very like the one episode of Mando was literally the Jedi, and we're like, oh, I wonder who's in this one.
The tragedy was not the worst title. It was 100% the traitor was the worst title.
Yeah.
Which one was the
Yeah.
traitor?
The traitor is the one with, where the girl Imperial officer betrays information to about the rebels, or I'm sorry, the New Republic.
Oh,
Oh yeah, with
seems
Wait.
legit.
the stupid scientist guy.
That's a different episode. That's called something else.
I just mean like
Star Wars,
same character, you know?
Traitor.
It's like the second to last episode of season 2.
It's a book by Matthew Stover.
No, wait.
Yeah, that's a New Jedi Order book with
Like
the
it was like the
Ewoks.
third to last episode of season
3.
3. I believe.
Boba.
One of my brother's favorite books from that
Sounds
series.
about right.
Traitor.
Anything else you guys want to discuss today?
They made Lego sets.
What Lego
Like
sets
them.
were made?
They have a ghost. They have the Jedi.
Oh, we talked
shuttle.
about that last week
I
or
know.
2 weeks ago.
Should have
saw 'em
been
in
there.
Walmart.
Should have been there. Should have been there.
I seen him.
I think we're about dry out of convo.
I
Yeah.
think so as well.
Thanks for having me on here.
Yeah,
Enjoyed the convo.
John, you gonna be around for
I'm
the
back.
next 2?
You mean Jim?
Or Jim, I mean. Sorry.
Oh, certainly.
there.
Yeah. I now have my little studio here built up, so
Yeah, it looks nice.
I've got the time, I've got
I
the
like it.
equipment.
As long as the hurricane doesn't strike.
I see your Razor crest back there, Jim.
Yes, that was a good time, and you know
It
what?
was a
It's
good
been
day.
too long, Jake. It's been too long.
We need to have another Lego day.
Jake,
That'd be
I
fun.
hope you
Come
don't
to
have
Wisconsin
two.
next.
I don't have you.
Jake,
I,
Jake. I live 30 minutes from Legoland.
Yeah.
I have kid and a wife and a
Oh,
job.
you better
I was
get
gonna
your
say,
And
I
a
hope you-
vacation.
grows
Take a
up.
vacation.
I hope you never have more than one kid
Sounds
because
like
you're gonna mix their
vacation.
names up so much.
Well, I just won't name them both with the same first letter. You should see me in class, dude. I can't get anyone's names right. I swear, I have my football team right
Name
now are all these
dysmorphia.
freshmen that I don't know. I'm getting another freshman. I got like Carter, Kaysen, CJ, what's the other one's name? Gavin and Carter, Kaysen, Caden,
For
Callan.
privacy
and they
purposes,
all
these
play
are
like-
fake names.
They
for
all play like
example.
the same position. and they're all the same height. I can never
Slot
get
receiver.
their names right. They're all H-backs and tight ends. I can never get their names right.
Nice.
Were you a football star in college? Is that why you're the coach
A
now?
star?
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
how it's spelled
RB3
so
we
far.
called him.
RB3, baby. Right bench, third string.
Do you tell them
Good
that you were a
times.
star?
No.
Tell them about your glory
I
days in college.
played 1 year and I was a backup receiver. That's it. And then I just
Yeah,
focused on
same.
I paid
Same
0
thing.
years
it.
because they didn't want to get injured.
But yeah, I suck at names. But Jim, I would love to visit.
I have an
Just
open invitation.
The
Standing
time
open
just makes
invitation.
it very difficult. I'm
What kind of state are you in these days, Jamie?
Florida.
Florida.
working for
Gotta
About
the
to get
have
hit by a
Chirac.
hurricane.
Yeah, you are. Jeez. Maybe I'll get sent
lame.
down there first. Maybe the guard will send us down there.
Yeah, I'll get one of those cots ready.
Wisconsin
don't-
National Guard.
I'll pull you up out of into a helicopter.
No.
Hey, they sent the
no,
Wisconsin
no.
National Guard to Florida a few years ago for a hurricane.
Yeah, they did.
But
I
then they
almost
sent them
would.
back. They
Wow.
only made it to Paducah, Kentucky. And Paducah, Kansas or Kentucky. And they said, wait, we don't think we need you. And they sent left them there for,
JK
like, they spent like 3 days in Paducah, and then they sent him back to Wisconsin.
The efficiency of the United States government.
Thousands of dollars.
New
just
orders,
literally
guys,
flushed
new
out.
Hundreds of thousands.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars and at least 3 Humvees left on the road, probably.
Wait for the
'Cause
record.
it's cheaper to just leave them there than bring them
Can we
back.
leave a senator or two as well?
But yeah, Jim, fly on up.
We
Or you
definitely
can
need to
come
get a
Austin,
Lego.
Texas, my friend, where
just
there's
need
a
to
lot
get
more
a-
things.
There's
Yeah.
early CMF and probably a lot more
Yes,
better.
I do have
Facebook
4
Marketplace
Moon
deals.
Knights. I do have 4.
Save one of those for me when I can't find any.
You want one? I could save one for you when I come see you.
What comes out next after this? Is this Skeleton Crew or Andor season 2?
My money's probably
Skeleton
on Bad Batch season 3.
Oh yeah,
In
we'll definitely
January.
get Bad Batch for sure.
No, I thought we got something.
The
Oh yeah, January is next.
the actors strike is kind of throwing a
Yeah.
wrench and stuff.
Well, Andor's already filmed.
That wasn't slated till next year though.
Okay. Actor strike, so frustrating.
Was Andor
Yeah.
last year, 2022?
Andor came out in 22, early 22.
Man, the years are just. I'm
Remember,
really
Andor,
old.
Andor was
Not
coming out
good
at the
to
same
us.
time as Bad Batch, right?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like right after. No, during,
Yes.
right?
It was
During
During, yeah.
their portion.
they overlapped a couple episodes.
Yeah. And I
There's
was like,
overlap.
wow, we got 2 Star Wars at
They
once.
released them on the same day. So dumb. So stupid.
Yeah.
How are we supposed to cover 2 shows in the same day? Pain.
We
Pain.
did it
We did.
Yeah, we're like this
because
week.
Andor wasn't that
episode of
good, so
Bad-
we didn't have to talk about it much.
That is the opposite, my friend.
I enjoyed Andor, John.
Yeah.
John, you're the only one here who didn't enjoy Andor.
John, I explicitly.
And CJ's the only one that enjoyed The Last Jedi, which is a much more grievous offense.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
With his new
You can't have
crooked
any
glasses.
fun, CJ. Not anymore.
You can only
No.
like what we like.
No.
We still need to do a defense of that.
I've gotten that a lot. It's okay.
We should.
Bring
We need
back
to.
bullying.
I don't associate with him. Don't cancel me,
I
please.
agree. All right. This has been the Rogue Podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching or listening on Spotify or iTunes, wherever you listen. Be sure to catch us next week, hopefully at 9 rather than 8:45, because the episode was too long to get in here by 8:45.
Possible.
So that's the goal. That is the goal. Until then, we will see you guys. Have a great week. And as always, may the force be with you. Wait, I have to wait for it. I'm still getting used to this new interface.
Always.
Wait for it.
Oh, damn. Help you. I can.
Thank you so much for joining, everyone. We greatly appreciate your visit. And we'll see you all in next week's episode.